What I am about to tell you is one of the harshest truths about masculinity, especially when it comes to attracting the woman you want. Here's the deal. You may not know it, but your mind has been conditioned by Netflix and the mainstream media into a weak and beat up mindset around female attraction. You probably think life is like a rom-com movie and you're the hot protagonist. Then why does your dating life turn out like the nerd in the movie that gets beaten around the school? This might sound harsh, but unless you complete a seismic shift in the way you think and behave, you will remain a side piece in every girl's life, or at least an orbiting beta. You cannot trust a woman to tell you what turns her on, because there's one thing. The moment you ask a woman such a question, she won't think to herself, okay, how can I give this man the most intimate knowledge and desires that women have? No. She thinks this is an opportunity to virtue signal and collect social brownie points. That's why any man that thinks he can get a woman to tell him what really turns them on is a hopeless lost cause. But don't worry, you have me to tell you the most ruthless things about the female reality. That's no one else will be comfortable telling you face to face. There are 4 things that women predominantly find irresistible inside a man, and luckily, a lot of them can be developed with hard work over time. The first is status. Listen, men, in the world of today, clout and attention is one of the biggest factors to increasing your attractiveness. We live inside an attention economy, and men are starting to need status more than any other time in history. Andrew Tate said this perfectly. He said back in the days you could be a 4 out of 10 guy working as a bartender, but you could be funny and charming and know how to hold a conversation, and the girl would eventually decide to settle for you or take you home at night. But now, the sexual marketplace has been internationalized. Now you're competing not just against the guy in the neighborhood, you're in competition with the entire world, and high-status men who are hitting her up in the DMs and trying to flaunt their status and lifestyle in front of her virtually. It has never been harder than now for the average man, and they are getting steamrolled by a small and smaller cadre of top-shelf men who can have any woman they want, and a large part of that is status. For all of human history, status has been a marker of social proof and a cause for respect and clout among men. Status is a marker of capability and strength, and it is this firmware that has carried over to modern times, and the betas of the world have not been able to adapt. But now, that pool of high-quality men is shrinking and shrinking fast, to the point that even money and looks alone aren't enough in the marketplace. And even that is hard for the average guy. The biggest differentiator in the eyes of women between a Joe Schmo and a truly attractive high-value man is the status he carries. Because the status will be carried over to her if that man starts dating her. She will have the bragging rights in front of other women that she was able to snag the highest status man available. The second most important thing in the world today is dominance. The problem is men have always been dominant because that is what the harsh nature world required, and that trait is what women have come to respect and desire. But now in the coddled society we have built today, men are weaker and submissive than ever. Women are deeply craving the same kind of dominance and leadership that her biology innately lusts for. But all she is met with is a slough of weak betas who defer to her for every little decision and can't even excite her inside the bedroom. There was a highly interesting study I read that blew me away and put everything into perspective for me. There is an overwhelming proportion of women in the world that start to get bored in their relationship shortly after a marriage. The biggest reason stated for this was the stoppage of the use of birth control pills. See, this is what happens. When a woman is on birth control, her hormonal changes make her start to desire a weaker and more affectionate or sensitive man. This is because her natural menstrual cycle has been disturbed, and she becomes more attracted to a man with long-term husbandly benefits. But when she gets married to that sweet and sensitive guy and stops using birth control pills, she develops an insatiable craving for a strong and dominant man. Even she may be surprised at her newfound lust for such a man. Her husband now feels unattractive to her, and then it's all downhill from there. Most divorces are initiated by women, so that makes perfect sense. No woman will ever tell you these things, but it falls upon you to gather this information and make yourself into the man her biology craves for. The third thing on this list is an abundance mindset. What do I mean by this? Here's the deal. Men whose flirtation comes from a place of wholeness, fun, security, and abundance are infinitely more attractive than a man who flirts out of his desperation or neediness. Even if you want to become a stoic genius that rarely shows emotion and ignores women because he has other plans in life, all of that must come from a place of abundance, or else it will never work, and the woman will see right through the facade. Google this term, pre-selection. It is the degree to which a woman finds you attractive because she sees that many more women are attracted to you and wants to be with you. Women require a degree of social proof and social validation for every action they take, and their decision is not much different. You must show her that she is one on a list of many women you can date, and that you don't require her approval to live a happy and wholesome life. This is the abundance mindset that will set your dating life straight. The fourth one on this list is equally important. It's your purpose and ambition. I've given this analogy before, but look at it from a woman's perspective. Girls see men as ships that can get and sail. They want you to show her the interesting things in your life and the purpose you are on. She wants to support you in your mission in life. But when you decide to give up on your ambitious dreams and make her the center of your life, she will inevitably lose respect for you and eventually even her lust and desire for you. Too many men fall into this fatal trap of making a girl their entire world to the point that the girl no longer sees anything more interesting than her in your entire life and eventually jump ship. If you don't want that to happen, you will have to take stock of where you're going in life and make it extremely clear that your purpose comes before her. It is harsh, but that is the only way she will ever respect you. Men were always meant to build, protect, and take humanity forward. It is only in this weak modern society that men are conditioned to chase women as an end in themselves, when it's absolutely not true. All that should matter to you is the purpose you were put on this earth for, and everything else should be secondary. If you chase the wrong things in life, you will end up with nothing. All of these ideas I mentioned will help you get ahead of the mass of men today, but it requires will and action on your part to implement. For that, you will need my guidance because my purpose in life is making the modern man into the strong and alpha citizen of the world he was always meant to be. I need you to share this video with your peers and create a strong network of great men around you. Like the video and subscribe to the channel for more. Until next time.